So Christmas is behind us, the New Year fast approaching, but if you're single, New Year's Eve isn't always a time for celebration. With us today is the author of the hugely popular book, Get Married This Year, Atlanta psychotherapist Dr. Janet Page. And you've got some really simple, straightforward advice, but first, you're like the relationship doctor. What do your clients tell you about New Year's Eve? Why that night specifically?
That night, unfortunately, too many people seem to think it's a whole pass for feeling miserable. If they're single, it's not. You've got to have two objectives, and number one is do not lose altitude on your attitude.
Don't lose altitude on your attitude. All right, what does that mean?
That means stay in a state of joy. And if you can't accomplish it, at least don't go all the way down about being so miserable. Call it a wash and save your energy for the next year.
Like just pretend like it's just any other night and not New Year's Eve?
Well, or make it New Year's Eve with, if you can't, if you're not with someone you love the ones you're with.
Okay.
One of the best ways to feel happy is do for others. So pull together people in the same boat. Or if you know people who need visiting, need a phone call, and will appreciate it, give. That helps feel better. Also, be easy on yourself. Just because you're not with someone you love yet doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. And you're way ahead if you are maybe not with Mr. or Ms. Right, but if you're not with wrong, then you're already accomplished something.
There are worse things than being alone, that's for
there
sure.
Are.
And your second tip, I love this, don't make resolutions. Now, why is that?
Well, I think we all have, they have a bad rep, and we all have the bad habit. We make the resolution. Most people break them in January, and most are repeat resolutions. Just forget it. I think goals are what matter. Sit down, figure out what you want to create next year, and then set up for each goal, make it a short list. Each goal, the first action step that you will take, and then set a deadline so that you'll take it by that point.
Okay, if their goal is to find love in 2016, you've got a class, you've got a, what do we call it, workshop that you've been doing for years, and I personally know somebody who got married within a year after coming to that class. What is that, and is that a good step? Would that be a good first step? Take this class and...
Absolutely. That would be one thing that could matter. If you want to find love next year, then set it up. You know, figure out the things you can do that would help you. Also, that back to what do you want? What do you need first? A shopping list. Set up your basic requirements. And then don't let yourself get stuck on somebody that has a whole bunch of characteristics, but they're not yours.
Well, your class really does have a lot of great tips like that. But first, we got to get through New Year's Eve. So
New Year's Eve. Yes, and it's not Groundhog's Day.
It's not Groundhog's Day. It's New Year's Eve. I love that.
Not
that is such
predictive.
Good advice. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Kimberly.
For more tips on celebrating single or finding love in 2016, you can log on to drjanetpage.com.